Welcome to the Project 820 podcast. Podcast disclaimer. The following podcast is just a couple guys riffing back and forth about nerdy stuff, current events, hot button topics, and everything in between. Everything is opinion-based, and sometimes facts will be incorrect and misinformed. No one knows everything, and we aren't always fact-checking while we record. Knowing this, be aware when commenting that a constructive correction is always welcome, but a harassing and aggressive retort will be laughed at and dismissed immediately. That's all. Enjoy the show. This is the Project 820 podcast.
Moist.
Why are we saying uncomfortable words?
Moist.
Sponge.
Ooh, I like that one.
Flange.
Phlegm.
Phlegm? No, you need to say phlegm.
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 Chutzpah. Okay, now we're just being racist.
Are we going to a bar mitzvah after this?
Maybe. Do you want to go to a
I
bar
got a
mitzvah after
sick
this?
bar mitzvah party.
Sputum.
Sputum.
It's like the worst word ever.
Yes. So, Victor,
Okay.
introduce what the fuck we're doing.
Okay, so it's the Project something podcast.
All right.
And we got no Paul today because Paul could not be here.
Paul could not be here.
So
He had to wash his hair this day.
yes, he had to wash his hair.
He washed a hair.
Yes, he had underwater basket weaving practice and just couldn't make it.
So Varric is taking Paul's spot.
Oh, I love Linux.
Yes, Linux. I Linux so hard.
I love Linux and getting drunk all the time.
Yes.
And I really like alcohol and my wife.
Is that all you think Paul does?
Yes.
It just plays with Linux and drinks.
Isn't that all he does? I just assumed that's.
That's pretty much it.
Am I wrong? Oh, and I play the drums sometimes.
Occasionally.
Sometimes.
I do a podcast.
And yell your
but
mom's
not-
face.
And yell
Yeah.
your mom's face.
Yeah. Here's my Paul impression.
Okay,
Your
and
mom's
then-
face. Gosh, I love Linux.
Gosh, I love Linux, and I will go at home and sit with my wife and watch Netflix for 6 hours.
Yep.
It'll be
Grey's
fun.
Anatomy is just very, very
It's
interesting.
darling.
It's great. Just love it.
Yeah, Paul admitted the other day that he's seen like all of Grey's Anatomy. I was like, way to go.
I don't think I've ever seen an episode.
I don't think I've sat through
what's
one.
it about.
Doctors.
It's like Scrubs, but a lot less funny.
So, is it not quite House then?
No.
Yeah,
'cause
like,
House
it's-
is actually interesting.
Yes.
It's not nearly as interesting as House. It's not nearly as funny as Scrubs. It's not nearly as laughably bad as ER. It's just very mediocre all around.
So how many episodes of Grey's Anatomy have you seen, Eric?
I have seen. I know I've watched at least one, but I wouldn't be able to tell you anything about what happened.
There was white coats
Yeah.
and syringes.
No, I do remember the one episode I saw. There was someone had a gun and like shot up the hospital.
Why? I saw that one too.
Oh, that was Patch Adams.
Oh shit! Never mind.
Damn it.
Okay, never mind. Never saw it.
No,
Oh, Robin Williams.
I saw one where they were like fucking hospitals getting shot up or something, and one guy died or was dying, and it was all like, let's just make him comfortable, and then I don't know. That was the only one I saw. So I had no build to that or any like what happened after. It's just dead people and guns. I think one guy wanted them to like do surgery on someone and they weren't, and I don't know.
See, if it was an episode of Scrubs, it would have broke out into a musical.
Yeah,
I would think so.
If it was
yes.
House, he would have tried to kill the patient to figure out how to save him.
Yeah.
You have to kill the patient first. To
And
really
if it was
understand.
ER, then John Stamos' hair would just save the day.
And George Clooney.
Yes.
Pre-Batman.
George Clooney's
Yes.
distinguished hair.
Pre-Batman.
He just got married again.
Again?
Well, I think it's like a second marriage.
Oh, okay.
Maybe third, I don't know.
I give it a week.
A week?
Yeah.
He married some
I
lawyer.
give it exactly. I'm gonna say 2.5 Kardashians.
2.5.
Was he married to like Stacy Keibler or something?
He was dating her for
Oh,
a
was he?
while.
Yeah.
And then he let her go, that fucking fool.
Poor bastard.
Like, I lost all respect for him.
So Victor, who's our other guest? Because we never got around to that.
Oh, it's Daniel Hueg.
Oh yeah, Daniel Way.
Today's show is sponsored by Grain Belt and Monster.
Yes. And
Like caffeine and booze
natural spring water.
for the vegans in the audience.
Yes. Fuck the vegans. Sorry, vegans are great.
Vegans.
You get superpowers.
They're
Yeah,
delicious.
I am so envious of vegans because I could control shit with my mind.
That's how veganism works, right?
Yeah.
You get superpowers.
Yeah, you know how you only use 10% of your brain? It's because the other 90% is filled with curds and whey. That's how it was explained in the movie, so...
I haven't seen that in so long.
Oh, that's great.
I need a movie night. Just watch Scott Pilgrim like twice, and then just go to bed. That's the best movie night ever.
No. Have you ever played the Michael Cera drinking game?
I have not.
It's you like just marathon a bunch of Michael Cera movies, and then anytime he awkwardly stammers, take a shot.
No, because you'd be drunk like 20 minutes into the first film.
You wouldn't get through the opening credits.
Yeah, I know. It's supposed to be like a suicide pact or something.
Oh, is that what that is?
Yes.
We were talking about this the other day. It's like, because we're going to watch a pay-per-view in a couple nights, and we were going to say every single time that they do a horrific plug for the WWE Network, we're going to take a shot, which they do every 5 fucking minutes.
And then take a sip of beer every time there's a German suplex.
Yes.
Yep.
Which happens a lot now, apparently.
Yeah, I guess that's the go-to move.
Speaking of wrestling, Dan, you wrestled Brock Lesnar.
Yes, I did.
We need to hear that story.
Well, there's not much to it. It's just
He beat me up.
No, you
okay,
beat
picture
him.
this, Brock Lesnar.
No, you beat the shit out of him.
Brock
You
Lesnar
gave him
in
German
college,
suplex.
probably like 235. Me in high school, 115, trying to wrestle, trying to grab his leg and pick it up, and I couldn't even get his leg up. So I just like fell to the ground and said, "Pin me."
But
No. Okay, no, I won.
Yeah.
I pile drived him.
I hit him with a steel chair.
Dan, next time you tell this story, it needs to end with, and then, like, he's begging for mercy. I throw him up over my shoulders, and I twist him down on the mat. And just gasping breath, he's like, what do you call that sort of move? And you're just like, I call it the F5. And then you just leave.
And that's where he got it.
That's where he got it. So really, Brock Lesnar owes his entire career to
To me.
Dan.
Yep,
Dan.
to me.
Way to go.
Wait.
You got to touch Brock Lesnar's slimy leg. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Was
my
it
head-
slimy?
Yeah.
It was
yeah,
pretty slimy.
Head in the crotch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stuff.
You gotta check the oil.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
That's awkward.
It's a tough business, wrestling. You know, someone's got to do it. Good thing we have people like good old Brock Lesnar.
Yes. Hashtag Brocklesnar.
Brock Lesnar.
We started that hashtag going.
If you take the space out
Yes.
of Brock Lesnar, it's Brock Lesnar,
Brock Lesnar.
which is really
That should
the
be his
name-
manager.
Yeah.
Brock Lesnar.
That's the name that you
Or
should
his
go
imaginary friend or something.
John says if he ever gets a WoW account and starts playing, he's going to name his character Brock
Brock
Lesnar.
Lesnar.
It's a good thing. It's a solid name.
by. Now, Victor, have you ever had any brushes with really, really famous people?
I did not grow Brock Lesnar.
You did not grow Brock Lesnar.
No.
Do you have like an equivalent?
Not really. I mean, okay. The most exciting thing dealing with famous people is I got like a YouTuber who has like millions of followers to actually respond to one of my tweets. Yeah, that was cool. That's literally the peak.
It was a gaming channel, wasn't it?
I think it was Paul Soares Jr., who's like a dad,
Oh.
and like he's like 35 or 40, and
Oh.
he does role playing on Minecraft and stuff like that.
In real life.
Yes, he role play. He probably LARPs.
LARP's Minecraft.
Him and Felicia Day.
Yes.
How do you
And,
LARP Minecraft? Do you just like go out and do architecture? Like
Yes.
Build sandcastles.
Yeah.
you just go out.
Actually, you just get a job at an
You just-
architecture firm, and on the weekends you dig in holes, and that's it.
That's what I would tell people if I had a career in architecture. I would tell people my job position is a professional Minecraft LARPer. It sounds,
You have
a
the
lot
coolest
more
job
fun.
ever.
I'd imagine a good way to piss off a Minecraft person is to put them in a ball pit.
I don't know what to do with any of this.
What do you want me to do with this shit?
I have a T-shirt that's got like Minecraft Steve on it, and it's just him, and he's looking down at a ball, just like, the fuck? What do I do with you?
Have you heard that apparently like people going to college for architecture has like actually like kind of like boomed recently because of Minecraft?
I believe it.
You know,
I can build cool houses in Minecraft, therefore I should build houses in the real world.
well, it's like that's the same logic behind. It's like, well, I'm really good at Call of Duty. I'll join the army.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
Yeah.
What do you mean I can't build a bridge by standing on a block, placing down another, and then standing on that one, and then placing down another? It doesn't work that way? No,
Yeah,
there's
okay,
this
I'm
thing
just
called
gonna-
gravity.
All right, how do I start? Okay, I'm just gonna punch this tree. Someone
Tree punching 101.
Someone came into my job at Hot Topic today, and they were talking about just video games and stuff, and how, you know, with the Oculus and stuff like that, we're getting really, really close to just straight up virtual reality. And I mentioned, it's like, you know, it's not going to be too long before we have, like, Star Trek style, like, holodeck chambers or something like that, and people just, like, play war in there or something. And he made the funniest comments, like, yeah, I bet money that people are going to get, like, post-traumatic stress disorder from playing video games.
Think so?
Like, they're gonna, like, lose their shit.
It's gonna be too real.
And try to, like, punch their friend. And they're like, dude, what the hell? It's like, sorry, it's my PTSD. You've never even served. No, it's capture the flag last night. It was brutal. It was just...
If it gets to be that real, maybe, like, to the point... I don't think you could ever really get PTSD if your life isn't truly in danger. I just don't see it happening.
You just have to keep in mind, just like, this is not real. This is a simulation.
Would be like that movie Surrogate, where
Yep.
they die in the game, or whatever, they die in real life.
Yeah, or like,
Oh, my.
what was that movie with Gerard Butler? Where
Gamer.
Gamer, yeah.
Yeah. Where, like, there are people whose jobs were to just play this simulation video game that were, like, being controlled by other people.
I like how he was so badass, he just tells his controller, dude, just let me take care of it.
Yeah.
Like, I got this. Like, yeah, Leonidas is that cool.
No, he ends up, my favorite part of the movie is, like, he's trying to, like, get out of the simulation or whatever, and he ends up enlisting the help of this girl, but it's not a girl, like, the actual player, like, they cut to him, and he's, like, 40 and fat and gross and just sitting naked in his living room, and, like, it's really weird, because the guy's just, like, trying to flirt with Gerard Butler the whole time, and even he's just like, dude, fuck off, no, just help me.
Just help me. God, I don't want your crazy, sick, twisted dreams. I just want to go home. God.
No.
Ugh.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that movie in a long time.
I remember it being really terrible. So
It
it's
wasn't-
not...
It's not that bad.
It wasn't great.
Okay,
It was okay.
I don't know, I just couldn't really get into it,
He gets to fight Dexter.
True.
That's pretty cool.
True.
Isn't it end up like big climactic ending of those two just fighting in like
Yeah.
an arena? Like
Yeah, Dexter just
fucking, like,
throws
basketball
off his
court.
shirt. He's just ripped. He knows all
Shit'll
this,
throw down.
and he just knows all this martial arts from nowhere, and
Tricky Dick.
he like made it so that he can control all the inmates. So if they did try to break from the game, that
Yeah.
he had master control over it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And then Gerard Butler somehow overrides it.
Broke it. Mm-hmm. God, there was this one thing. God, was it Futurama? I don't remember. Where, like, Bender had this free will chip implanted into his head, and the professor had actually made it, but he did put a little subroutine in there to say, "Oh, by the way, you can't kill me." So Bender immediately tries to kill him, and he can't, so he hands the gun to someone else, and is like, "Oh, but he can." Just like, what? Just shoots the professor in the fucking chest.
That is one way around. It's like, I can definitely persuade this other person.
No, that little plot line was all the way back from fucking, like, Demolition Man. Did you ever see that? Sylvester Stallone,
yeah.
Wesley
Yeah.
Snipes.
Oh, man.
Because that was the one thing where that one guy was like, yes, it's in your programming, you can't kill me. And he's like, this guy can. Just tosses him a gun and shoots the guy in the fucking face. Just like, yeah, that's a tried and true
Demolition Man
plot line.
it's definitely up there with, like, my favorite movies that take place in an obviously distant future. That's just extremely dated.
You knew it was
really
future because
ludicrous.
Wesley Snipes had white hair.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's-
yeah.
All black people have white hair in the future.
It's pretty fucking hardcore.
That's racist.
What was it, San Angeles? Is that
Yeah,
where
it
they
was
were
San
from?
Yeah, San Angeles.
My favorite thing about it, and I really genuinely hope this actually happens, is apparently there's some sort of, like, restaurant war, and all food companies are Taco Bell. Like, Taco Bell, for whatever reason, just rises up and just takes over every single food service industry.
They took that run for the border
Yeah.
a little too seriously.
Isn't it just like fucking like food pills now too? Like
Yeah.
it wasn't even food.
Yeah, the tacos are, like, the size of your thumb. and
Yeah.
Oh, and then there's the scene where they have, air quotes, sex.
Oh yeah, whatever the fuck that
That
was.
was creepy as hell.
Like
Yeah.
we're going to have intercourse. Like what? Like,
And it's just like...
no,
they,
no,
like,
sorry.
They,
What?
they sit cross-legged on a floor and put on two helmets. And it's kind of like virtual reality. It's
Yes.
They basically put on two Oculuses and...
and sort of get dirty, nasty.
I don't know.
Because apparently in the future you're asexual.
Yeah,
Everyone is asexual.
in the future, y'all don't care. You'll bone whatever.
I like how he asks, like, don't you people like, like
It's just the evolution of masturbation.
Basically.
It's gotten more technical. I was like, how do you make new kids? It's like, you science it. And I was like, that's lame.
It's like through science. Oh, there's one scene in the movie where he's listening to the radio and he turns to an oldie station, except all they play is just like jingles from the 80s, like commercial jingles, not even songs. And he's just listening to this, just like, God, someone kill me.
The thing is,
Put
he
me
was sick of
back to
those
sleep.
already.
Which I imagine, had I had seen that movie when it came out, I would have felt that same way, just like, oh God, it never escapes.
How far in the future was that? Was that 300 years from when he was, or something?
Was,
or I don't remember at all. Because it must have been a long time.
Yeah.
I can Google.
Google.
I can Google too.
Now, how do you think that future fares compared to, like, say, Back to the Future Part 2, 2015,
Which is next year.
yeah.
which is next year?
Where's my fucking flying cars?
They're introducing the self-lacing shoes, though.
I saw Nike
Nike's
was
doing
pushing
That's
that.
coming.
Yeah.
I know they're working on the hoverboard.
Yep. Well, they had that fake promo that
Yeah.
a lot of people...
Fucking Tony
gullible
Hawk was
people-
on too
yeah,
and everything.
Tony Hawk.
Like, I know there is a company that's trying genuinely to make
I'm so
a
glad it's
hoverboard.
finally here. I've always wanted one. Like, it's not really.
It's not.
God.
They need to get on a lot of shit. Like, they need to make, like, at least, 16 more sequels to Jaws?
Yeah.
Before...
There's
In
that.
like 3 months.
They did that fan challenge where they had to make fan-made Jaws movies before.
Maybe
And
those
then-
count. Maybe that's what counts.
Yeah.
2032.
It's 2032? Really?
So we got like 16, 17 years, and now we got to be in
Man.
Demolition Man territory.
Oh, man.
I feel like
Why do I have a
2015
feeling Stallone is still going to be alive by then, too?
He probably
He's
will be.
gonna make another Rocky.
Yeah, and he's going to make at least 2 more Rockies.
Expendables 13.
You know what would be hilarious? If Stallone is still alive by the year 2032, they remake Demolition Man.
Yeah.
With him leading. Except it's just at another, like, 50 years in the future.
Yes.
Like, they just keep remaking these movies and just pushing the date back.
I feel like Expendables in 5 years will probably have like freaking Justin Bieber
Yeah,
and
it's
like a Jonas brother.
It's gonna be like Expendables Spy Kids.
Yeah.
Yes.
Spy Kids.
It's just gonna be badass children.
What was that one
Why
chick's
is this
name?
a thing?
What?
There's a Taco Bell wiki.
Of course, there's a
Well,
Taco
yeah.
Bell wiki.
Welcome to the internet.
There's a wiki for everything.
The thing is, if you talk to any millennial, like any person who's like in my age range, like Taco Bell Takeover isn't that far off. Because apparently people my age are just obsessed with Taco Bell.
I like tacos, so I guess I can't complain.
I don't know where it's coming. I think it's Baja Blast.
It's the Baja Blast.
I think people just enjoy having diarrhea. Apparently.
I guess.
Delicious diarrhea.
Yeah.
There's something in the Baja Blast.
I remember back in do you remember when there was that story that leaked like a few years back where they actually like they went through Taco Bell's like ingredients list
Yep.
for their meat?
Yeah.
And they're just like all this shit that isn't meat is in your meat.
It's all filler.
I remember talking to my high school biology teacher about it, and I showed him a list and everything, and the only thing he had to say about it's like, well, that explains why I had so much diarrhea in college. That clears up just so much stuff.
Everything makes sense now.
It's all coming together. That's why I was so sick all the time.
I know Taco Bell just got mad because technically they had the right ratio though.
Yeah.
Like they technically still
technically
had
weren't
enough
breaking your
meat
rules.
to be considered meat.
Yeah.
Like so like I don't know why you guys are so upset. Like it's still meat.
But it's okay, because like 2 years down the line, they came out with the Doritos taco, and all's forgiven.
Like you provide us a Doritos taco, we're good.
I am like 100% confident that that's why they introduced it, was to just, clear the air with everyone. Just like, hey, like, let's just...
Well, they
let's
have
just
a much
start
better
fresh.
public image now than they did.
Yeah.
Like
That's because they have the Doritos taco.
That's part
and
of it.
everyone loves them again.
they just launched that breakfast menu.
Oh my god.
It's so good. Oh god. They have this AM Crunch Wrap thing that's got like a fucking hash brown built into it and like eggs and fucking sausage and like there's like fucking sauce they put on quesadillas.
Yeah.
Oh, it's good.
The steak one's good.
It's good.
The waffle taco, on the other hand,
Is not
is a
so
greasy
good.
sponge of diarrhea, basically.
Is it?
Yes. You eat it, and half hour later, you are in the bathroom.
Yeah, it's a trap.
Just
runs right through.
in shame with your head down.
It's not even that enjoyable when you have it. Like if you don't have like syrup to dip it in, it just tastes like heavy and just like whatever.
And I saw that right after Taco Bell released that White Castle, released a chicken and waffles breakfast sandwich. And it's
Wait,
like,
that's a thing?
Yeah, it's like a McMuffin, but 2 waffles with chicken in the middle, little
know what I'm
slider
doing
style.
tomorrow morning.
Okay, well, we know
Not greasy, but
it's not.
In theory.
Would you say it fares better than the waffle taco?
it does fare better.
Okay.
But it is White Castle,
Yeah.
so you need to be stoned.
White Castle's
you
not
have to
too
be
bad as long as you know exactly what you're walking into.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the first time I had White Castle, like me and like 4 of my other friends, we got one of those like crave cases that had like 100 sliders in them. And I mentioned that I never had White Castle up to this point. And one of them sat me down and was like, "All right, Varric, look, here's what's gonna happen. You are gonna eat."
It's like fucking sitting you down.
They did.
All right,
This is what
here's
happened.
the deal.
It's like, "All right, Varric, here's what's gonna happen. You are gonna eat about 6 of these sliders, and then you're gonna want to kill yourself. That's when you stop." And I thought it's like, yeah, whatever. You're just cracking jokes, and oddly enough, 6 sliders in, I'm just like, life is meaningless. Why should I go on? Why bother?
I'm
We're
done.
all just dust in the wind.
You had a revelation
Just
on life
nope.
itself.
White Castle is purely like made from God
Yeah.
for stoners and college kids.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. Or gamers.
Yeah, because it's
Sip all night
cheap,
playing Call of
and-
Duty,
yeah.
eating sliders.
Because it's cheap, and you can be all like, no, it's healthy. There's onions in it.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, it's got grilled onions, dude.
It's steamed.
Yeah,
Everyone knows
it's not
steamed
fried.
is
It's
healthy.
steamed. It's
That's another weird thing. They
I'd
stick it on a little thing and then pull down a lid and just steams it, and then they slide it in the box.
I
and-
don't know if it's a good thing that the microwave ones you can get from the store are just as good as the fresh ones from the
Yeah,
restaurant. They're the
agreed.
same fucking thing. And it's just like, that's a little scary.
Do you think if McDonald's tried doing a similar shtick that they like it would be pretty much the same?
I don't know, because they don't microwave their stuff.
Well, have you ever tried reheating McDonald's like the next day?
It doesn't make me
I usually don't eat McDonald's at all because
Yeah.
I don't want to die.
Yeah, that's the point. You don't die.
I don't die.
You don't want to die.
I want to live.
McDonald's for people who don't want to die.
Yes, that should be their slogan. For people who don't want to die. Wait, what? So for people who do want to die?
I've read who I was talking to about this, and they said that like in McDonald's defense, if you get like their quote unquote like premium sandwiches, they're really not that terrible. It's when you like if you want to pay 89 cents for a hamburger, you're getting exactly what you're paying for.
I did get I got like a double quarter pounder the other day, and it just had like fucking cheese and onions on it and some ketchup and stuff. And I mean, it was actually a decent burger. It was just as good as any burger that I'd buy like frozen at the grocery store
Yeah.
and like heat up myself. So it's not like awful, but like their stupid chicken McNuggets have gotten worse. I feel like there's less and less chicken in there, and more like I think
more.
there was a piece of a feather in there once, and like there was probably part of the coop itself that just got caught in the conveyor belt. Like,
There's just a wood chip in it.
fried and breaded tumors. That's all it is.
That's all it is. The thing is, the things they do with those fucking chickens are ridiculous.
I've come to terms with the fact that it's not even chicken; it's Soylent Green.
It's Soylent Green.
It is.
Soylent Green is people!
Spoilers.
Sorry. Spoiler alert.
That movie's only been out for like 30 years. People haven't seen it yet.
There's a company actually called Soylent that's out right now, and it's like a whole meal replacement kind of thing. And it's just a pouch full of like soy protein.
That's what they tell you.
Yeah, exactly. That's what
Yes.
they're saying. But it's supposed to like replace your whole meal or whatever, and it's supposed to make it so you save money, but it has no flavor. Like it's just like powder.
What the fuck do you do with it then? Like,
Well, they have
sn-
it has
do you
reci-
snort it?
Yeah,
Like-
exactly. It has recipes.
just
that you
not
can, like,
hungry.
You can mix it with water, or you can mix it with apple juice,
Ooh,
or
apple
yeah.
juice Soylent.
it's just I
Delish.
don't know, not my thing.
I don't think that'd be any human's.
I like solid food.
Yeah, I prefer my meals to be meals.
I prefer my food to have food in it.
Yeah,
I mean, it's fun and novelty to eat like space ice cream, but
yeah.
that's pretty much the most powder I'll take.
That's one of those things, like, they have those, like, Dippin' Dots
Oh,
things,
yeah.
like the little ice cream balls they have, and it's like, that is fucking so novelty. That's all it is. Like,
Yeah.
you are getting the exact same thing as a little, like, quart of ice cream, just this costs more
And then they
because
have
it's in little balls.
They have the knockoffs, the itty bits.
Yep. The itty bits are what we have, like, in, like, fucking Foley
Yeah.
and stuff. I don't even get the Dippin' Dots at, like, fairs and shit. And,
Yeah, Dippin' Dots, there aren't too many places where you can actually get it.
yeah. They're really not all that in a bag of chips.
See, I just can't really get into Dippin' Dots because I think to myself, if I was like going through a breakup or something, I can't imagine myself sitting on the couch crying while eating Dippin' Dots because I'd be having too much fun because it's Dippin' Dots. It doesn't serve the purpose of ice cream.
I'd be in too good of a mood.
Like, I don't want something that's gonna cheer my mood. Did you know that Ben and Jerry's has an ice cream out called like chocolate therapy or like breakup therapy or something?
Oh yeah.
And it's just like a really fucking chocolatey ice
ton
cream.
of chocolate, yeah.
Yeah.
God.
Which, hey, it does the job.
It's like chocolate with chocolate swirls and chocolate chunk pieces and
Wrapped in chocolate fudge.
a chocolate boyfriend.
Yeah. It has tiny like chocolate caramel filled boyfriends.
In the middle, there's an engagement ring.
So you can pretend that someone was going to give you a nice surprise.
Someone out there loves you. Ben and Jerry's loves
Ben
you.
and Jerry's
Jerry's
loves
loves
you.
That's their new slogan. Ben and Jerry's loves you.
When no one else loves you, there's Ben and Jerry's.
God. Every kiss begins with kiss.
When in doubt, we will fill you.
Oh. See, clearly we're all in the wrong business. We need to get into marketing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, I hope someone from Ben and Jerry's is listening to this podcast, just like, shit, this is brilliant.
I hire all of you now. This is the best.
How do I get these guys' contact information? Oh my god.
All we can come up with is chubby hubby. These guys are geniuses.
We have to get fucking Stephen Colbert to come up with our awesome ice cream.
God.
Have you had Stephen Colbert's ice cream?
It's pretty good.
I have not. What
Americone
kind is it?
Dream.
Americone Dream. It's a vanilla ice cream with caramel swirls, and then they have like pieces of waffle cone covered in chocolate just in it.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah,
It
it's
is
pretty
amazing.
awesome.
Why
It
did it
is
take
amazing.
Stephen Colbert to figure that out?
They
Sounds
have
great.
the Jimmy Fallon kind too, called Late Night Snack.
Yeah.
It has chocolate covered potato chips with pretzels, and that might be it.
I think there's also like salted caramel swirl
Yeah,
on
salted
it.
caramel swirl. And I saw at Target the other day they have a kind of a knockoff called Cinema Snack, and it's popcorn flavored ice cream
Oh my god.
with
Ew.
chocolate covered potato chips and pretzels. With
What theater sells potato chips?
Yeah.
Speaking from experience here.
Ours should.
Or should?
I would eat potato chips at the movies. I'd eat anything at the movies. That's different, I guess.
I suppose. We're allowed that. We kind of have it.
Stephen Colbert himself perplexes me a little. Because he plays this character on TV that is so disgustingly, horribly conservative, but he does it so over the top, it's hilarious. But him himself is so fucking liberal.
It's like flaming liberal.
He's a flaming liberal. Like, it's just ridiculous. Like, and what do you do in your private life? Do you kind of, like, pretend you're that ridiculous conservative who thinks Hitler wasn't really in the wrong? Or, like...
or that Mitt Romney's a serial killer.
God, no, were you the one who read that book? What book
I Am America and So Can You.
Yeah.
Yeah, that book's fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
It's basically his show, except in book form, and he just talks about his batshit crazy philosophy on everything.
He's a character. Now, he's taking over for Letterman, isn't he?
Yes? Letterman? Was it Letterman?
I did not hear this.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Letterman's done at the end of this year, I think.
Oh, really?
Is it Letterman?
I'm pretty sure it's Letterman.
It's gotta be. He's like ancient.
Because Craig Ferguson is quitting too.
Yep.
And he's getting replaced with,
What's his name?
British guy.
James Corden?
James Corden or something.
Cordine or something?
Oh, really?
He's
I didn't know that either.
Yeah, he's on
Shit,
Doctor Who,
yeah.
and he does a bunch of,
Oh.
theater stuff.
Yeah, he's a
and-
British comedian.
So he's getting replaced too, and then Letterman's getting replaced with Colbert, and then I don't know what they're doing.
Now,
with the
from what
Colbert
I've
Report.
heard, like I think Colbert Report is just gonna be done, and then when Stephen Colbert takes over whatever show, I've heard he's gonna drop the character. Like he's just gonna be a comedian, just himself.
You think so?
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
He
anyways.
could. I mean, it wouldn't be that hard. He already pretty much does.
Well, at that point, like his shtick only works for like the Colbert Report. It doesn't really it wouldn't really transition well into just a traditional talk show.
you just put like political segues into every fucking thing you say. It's just like, just shut up. We're talking about my new book. Like, it's like, yes, but Obama. Like, no, shut up.
So yeah, that's gonna be interesting.
They might. I don't know what they're gonna do because because what's his name? John Oliver.
John Oliver has a show now.
He has a show on HBO, and the only reason he got that is because he went and hosted the Daily Show for like 6 months, while Jon Stewart like took a vacation. And so he hosted the show, and then he went to HBO, and they were like, "Yes, you can have a show. You did great."
Yeah, the show's
Have
pretty
a
awesome.
show.
It's called Last Week Tonight.
Last week tonight.
I have not seen this either.
Oh yeah, we need to make. A list for
I'm
you.
missing out on
You're
Taco
missing
Do
out
you
on
have
so much.
cable? Because no one else does.
We just
I don't have
Then
HBO.
again, I usually work overnights, so,
you're missing most of it.
yeah.
Yeah, it's well. Regardless, Stephen Colbert at least has the ice cream industry to fall back on.
He does, yes.
And that salted
Everything goes to hell.
caramel
And the rock band.
Yeah,
Of course.
That's who, Stephen and the Colbert. I have to ask, do you guys have any idea what's with the sudden craze for salted caramel?
It's
I
delicious.
think
I
I think
don't
it's just
know.
a phase, kind of like the pomegranate phase. Pomegranates were getting involved with everyone.
Dragon fruit pomegranate smoothie.
Yes.
It's like, ugh.
Because I see it
Okay.
fucking everywhere, and I don't understand the craze. Like, I've had salted caramel before, and honestly, I can hardly tell the difference.
It's kind of like that the red velvet too. Red velvet's
Yeah.
everywhere in everything.
It's part of the sea salt craze, just as a whole.
Yeah, there was that thing too. Just trendy foods, I guess.
Because it started with
Which
sea
it's
salt,
it's
then-
fall, so pumpkin spice is coming back.
Yes.
You know, white girls, get your Starbucks cards ready.
I get free
Get your
Starbucks every morning.
caribou.
I saw
I hate Starbucks.
I saw a post on Instagram the other day. I don't know who it was, but the caption for this photo just said, "If you say pumpkin spice 3 times into a mirror, a white girl with yoga pants will appear and tell you all the things she loves about fall."
Yeah, I saw that too.
And I laughed at this for like 30 straight minutes. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh my god. I guess I can't really say anything because I get the pumpkin spice stuff when it's there. But I don't wear yoga pants. When I go out, shut up. Just at home.
I don't know. It may be funny only to me just because working at Hot Topic, we have Pink, that Victoria's Secret store, right across from us in the mall.
Yeah.
So most of my time at work is just spent making fun of white girls. Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're back.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Back here on KWT3.
so on the subject of yoga pants,
Yes, back to
I need to tell you guys the story of how yoga pants got banned from my high school. It was the last day of my senior year, and it was my old friend Darian. And he decided to, sort of as like kind of a prank, but also to kind of prove a point, he wore a really tight Justin Bieber t-shirt and yoga pants to school.
Oh, he's my favorite man ever.
And what's interesting about Darian and his anatomy,
Anatomy.
and this was something that everyone at school learned that day, is that Darian has a massive package.
He was moose knuckling.
Basically, like he has the most glorious balls you will ever see in your entire life. And I say this as a completely straight man.
His balls were spectacular.
They were fantastic. They probably still are fantastic. And so yeah, wearing yoga pants, it really just showed off all of this.
All
and
of the curvature.
yes, just the mass. Like it's basically like he had a tiny pumpkin, just in his pants all day. And everyone noticed.
Tiny pumpkin.
The girls noticed. The guys noticed. The teachers noticed. The principal noticed. Oh, the principal noticed. I still remember I had art class with him. It was right after lunch. And it was even put over the loudspeaker. It's like, Darian so please report to the office, please. And everyone just clapped as he was getting on leave. Because they all knew what the fuck it was for.
You're showing
It's
off
because
your-
you're not hiding your pumpkin well enough. Jesus Christ.
And then, well, he came back, and everyone had, like, people were talking, it's like, oh, man, like, what are they going to do to this guy? Like, is he not going to be able to walk? Are they going to take away his diploma? Yada, yada, yada. What kind of trouble is he going to get in? And he came back, and even my art teacher, like, held the entire class, is like, okay, the floor is yours. What happened? Because even he wanted to know.
It's like, what is going on, guys?
Because he kept telling people that the whole point was he was trying to prove that yoga pants aren't real pants, and that they shouldn't be worn in school by girls or guys. He said what happened was, like, they tried pinning him on a bunch of stuff, and he just kept saying, it's like, I'm not breaking any rules in the dress code. Because it doesn't say anywhere in the dress code that guys can't wear yoga pants.
There's no specific, like, rule against how tight your pants are.
No, there
Like-
isn't. There's, you know,
Or,
there's
like,
nothing.
like, it covers everything.
Exactly,
Like,
everything's
it's the right
covered and-
length. It's not too low. Like, you're not...
Well, they tried pinning him on, just like, yeah, but you're stuffing, and that's against the rules. And he just looked at him square in the eyes and said, no, I'm not.
You want to check?
And apparently there was a solid minute of the principal just looking at him.
You should just looked at him and said, they're real and they're fabulous.
They are fabulous. So spectacular.
And if you actually go to check, I'm going to call the police.
Well, that's the thing. Is like the principal can't be like, "All right, lose the pants. Let's see these suckers." He couldn't do that. He just
See your magnificent.
he just kind of
grapefruits.
looked at him, just like dictating what he was saying, like just thinking in his head what he was saying.
Dictating.
Yes.
Dictating.
Dictate.
Yeah.
He even called in the guidance counselor as as like a second opinion.
Hey, come in here and look at this kid's balls. Man, those are
Because the
big
principal
balls.
needed guidance. That's why.
I don't know what to do about these balls.
Dave, you need to see this kid's balls. They are fantastic. And so he called in second opinion, and the thing is, there was really no way to quote unquote check and see if he was stuffing without breaking a whole bunch more rules.
Yeah.
Especially because at the end of the day, he really wasn't.
Yeah, no, he wasn't really breaking anything.
So all they would have found was just balls.
But they had to add a rule.
So they let him go. There's like, all right, you made your point. Get out. And so they let him go, and they didn't get him on anything. So he got away scot-free, except next year it was put in the rules for dress code that guys cannot wear yoga pants.
Now, is it guys can't wear yoga pants or anyone?
It's guys.
Really?
Really?
Yeah.
That's discriminatory.
It is.
It is.
Well,
kind of.
it's also in there like guys can't wear skirts to school and shit like that. And
Why not? What if you're Scottish? Or kilt.
Yeah. I guess it has to be a kilt with shorts under.
yes.
Probably.
A skort. A skit.
Yes.
Okay, well, Cathedral High School
You need your,
has
you need the
A
proper.
cheating kilt.
Yeah, there has to be a way.
But at the end of the day, the point was made that yoga pants should not be considered pants.
There's always been there's a few the last few years at our high school. There's always someone who leaves a little mark in their wake. They come back and it's like, turns out there's a rule about having bicycles inside of the locker bay now. 'Cause
Whoops.
there didn't used to be.
Yeah.
There is now. I had friends that were more vindictive. Like they felt like they were just wronged by having to be there, so they did horrible things. Like I had a buddy that just, you know what this school doesn't need? Staplers. I'll take them off your hands. Every single one I see. That's going in my pocket, and then in my car, and then in a ditch. Goodbye.
Now, didn't one of your friends also do the same thing, but like the phone cords?
The phone
for,
cords.
like, the class phones and like clocks and
clocks
stuff?
on the wall. That was another one.
Now,
No one deserves time.
if my recall is correct, did someone... I heard this story, and I believe this was your generation. Someone took an electronic metronome, turned it on, so it's just beep, beep, beep,
It was
beep.
way slow though. It was like beep 30 seconds later. Beep. Like it was a really like
And then they
slow-
left it like
When
in
the
the
fire
ceiling.
alarm-
and then
dying.
they put it inside of the ceiling. And it
Like you just jumped up one of the tiles and just
yeah,
metronome in there. So that actually happened?
caused the biology teacher to quit.
Really?
As a
She
teacher, I
quit.
would quit.
She
too.
quit within like the next year. I think that was one of the last things. Like I think she was already on her way out and was just like, fuck these kids, and like I think she was actually thought she was going crazy because the thing is every time she would ask like the class, like, do you guys hear that? Everyone would be like, hear what? No? What are you talking about? Like every fucking time.
See, your class were just a bunch of assholes.
Yeah, no, I think because that was like the grade right
Wasn't that-
after me.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think so. That was a buddy of mine from back in the day.
And then wasn't there you one of your friends was also like, weren't they balancing their checkbook in like your English class or something?
Yeah, we had like I was in the dumb language arts class, like I wasn't in the college level one or whatever. So there was, us few smart people who never gave a shit, so we were in the dumb one, and then the actual dumb people. So the teacher had to deal with all the dumb people, so all the smart people would sit there and just like dick around and talk and there was some stupid, I think the teacher was actually lecturing at the time. And a buddy of mine was just like in the back, just fucking had his little checkbook out and he's got a piece of paper out and he's like balancing out receipts. And it's just like, dude, what are you doing? It's like, I'm balancing my checkbook. It's like, the teacher's like right in the middle of a thing. He's like, so? It's like, won't you be mad? And it's like, no, watch. Hey, teacher, balancing my checkbook. Like he tells her, and she just kind of looks at him like, I fucking hate all you kids, and then goes back to teaching. It's just like, oh, you
don't-
already gave up.
Don't know why I find that story so awesome, but it's
There's always a couple good ones.
okay. So Dan, you're an expert in the art of one-upping Victor and I. So I assume you have some pretty awesome stories yourself from back in the day.
as far as high school.
Yeah, you know,
Well, I mean, we had, like-
pranks and fucking with
Yeah.
teachers and stuff.
Well-
since we're on the subject.
Well, one thing, like, our school was on the news because apparently our hockey team decided that a good hazing thing for the freshmen was to be shove marshmallows up their butt, have them race across the ice, and if whoever was last had to eat all the marshmallows from all the winners.
That sounds unsanitary.
Exactly. So we were on the news, and the school had like a big investigation and all this.
That sounds like fucking college hazing.
Yeah.
That's awful.
And then our biggest rivals were St. Francis, and the football teams were just like football and hockey hated each other. Like fights would break out in the stands. It was just ridiculous. And one of the things we did is we went to St. Francis's football field and poured dry ice all over their field, so it made the grass completely dead. And we spelled out "You suck," and they couldn't like fix it. So they got back at us because we had a pet goat as our mascot. Stole our goat, spray painted it blue,
People actually do this.
brought it back
Sounds
to our
amazing.
school, released it in the hallways. So there's a goat running around, spray painted blue. So we just kept trying to one up each other. We made fun of them because they didn't have a swimming pool or cheerleaders. So basically, we said that like they're too fat and skanky to have anything.
Those were our cheerleaders.
And
I didn't know we had one until I got my yearbook.
and then for Spirit Week, one thing we would do is we would pull pranks all the time. But one thing we would do is they would bid on like the class president, the vice president, student council, and whatnot. And once you bid on them, they were your bitch. You could make them do whatever you wanted. So kids would go in like tutus in snorkel gear, and they would have to like go through all their classes, and whoever bought them could walk in the middle of the class, be like, "Hey, you need to get up and start singing." So they would like in the middle of class just have to start singing.
Oh, God.
And
Wow.
yeah, it was really embarrassing.
Fuck, I was the class secretary.
There's this one though. I was one of the people that got bid on, and I had to wear a full leotard, like gymnast leotard,
Oh my God.
with a tutu, a snorkel, and a tiara. And then during lunch, it was me and 3 other guys, and they made us go up there with this like handheld karaoke machine, and we had to sing TNT by AC/DC at the top of our lungs.
Oh my God.
And so like the 2 other guys were back up doing the oi, oi, and I'm just screaming at the top of my lungs. And finally, like the teachers just had enough, and they just like pulled us down, took the karaoke machine,
And that's enough.
And then they're like, "Yeah, that's enough."
Oh my God.
Wow. They don't make pranks like they used to.
No, like, it's funny how much schools crack down on that stuff now, too.
Yeah.
Because a lot of it is like, I remember hearing a class after mine that a month before graduation, the faculty and the principal came out and said, if there's one prank, you're not walking. That's it. Like, and it wasn't like the person who does the prank isn't walking. It was the entire class doesn't walk. And it's just like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, why is like these stupid little things like that big of a fucking deal? We had one guy who, because it was always a big deal when anyone knocked a chair over during our lunch periods, or dropped a tray or something, and like,
I love that.
and the entire cafeteria would just like, oh, like the whole fucking place would just go up, like, and it'd be embarrassing, and be like, funny, and you know, whatever. Well, the last day of my senior year, one guy came over, and him and a couple other buddies, they decided that on that day they were all going to dress up like the 4 guys from the Anchorman movie.
Yeah.
So he was dressed up as Brick, so he had the, like, really slicked down hair, like, to the side, and, like, glasses on, and like, really just nerdy kind of looking, and he acted just awkward as balls the entire day. And so what he did is, at the end of the lunch period, he went over to dump, like, the food off of his tray. But when he did it, he intentionally took his tray and, like, slammed it down, like, really hard. The tray shattered and broke into, like, a bunch of pieces all over the floor. He looked around like, and, of course, it's the last day of our senior year, so it's the loudest that we've ever heard. Like, the whole fucking place explodes. People are flipping chairs over, like, just chaos. And there's a door to this outside eating area right there. Everyone loses their mind. He runs out the door and just hauls ass. Just runs. And it's not like this thing where he could run and then, like, get around a corner because it was this big open field. He ran probably a quarter mile and never stopped and just kept running until he could get behind the other side of the building. And it's just like, wow, he's really running. He's leaving. He's fucking gone. Like, he just escaped. Like, what just happened? And, like, we saw him come back like 20 minutes later, and he just walked over to a lunch lady and handed her like a $20 bill. It's like, I'm sorry, I broke the tray. But it was just like, and I don't think he got in trouble for that, but like after that, like there's rules now. Like, well, if you do this, like you're gonna have detention this and blah, that. And it's just like, yeah, high school's not as fun as it used to.
Yeah, that tradition carried over by the time I was a senior, but like, you know, people would, for one thing, they got rid of the chairs.
That's
Like,
right.
We got all new lunch tables with chairs fucking built into them. Yeah, or hippies or something.
Goddamn hippies and your built-in chairs and your seats.
Well, on top of that, like I remember another reason they got rid of the chairs was because it was becoming a big problem that like they were trying to fit as many people as possible into one table.
Yeah.
Like now they're just seated to like, you know, 9 people at a table, and I remember like freshman year when we still had like the chairs and stuff, we were able to fit, I think the most was like 20.
Yeah.
Like people would on purposely try and fit them all the people. Like their trays would be like sideways. People would be sitting on each other's laps. Just
You know, before that though, what we would do is we just had 2 tables. We just pushed them together, and then we would just sit at the 2 tables, and that wasn't a thing. But the teachers were always mad about that. Mm-hmm. And I was like, why is this a big deal? And so then they said you can't do that. So then you guys came in and we're like, all right, we'll just fit all 20 of us at one table.
We're just gonna make it work.
And you're like, well, now we're gonna make it not work.
But yeah, they got rid of all that, and yeah, like, people would still like drop their trays, and people would still go, oh, except like if one of the teachers even had like a hint that you were doing it on purpose, like a try and incite reaction, they would just pull you aside and just be like, you have lunch attention, like right now.
Yeah. Go have lunch with the principal, and don't let him look at your balls, because he's got a thing for balls.
Apparently,
yes.
He will need guidance.
He will need so much guidance. God.
Oh man.
It's funny the second you get out of high school, how much of a hold they had on you, and you realize it immediately too. Because like you treaded so lightly in certain scenarios with certain people, and then the second you leave, like not even like when you start up your first semester of college, like no, like literally when you're 5 minutes out the fucking door, it hits you. You're just like, why did I let these people treat me this way for 4 years? Like, there were freaking, like, computer lab aides that just thought they were, like, had fucking golden vaginas and just were, like, top shit.
I feel like
and it's just like,
this is
you
a personal
might...
experience for you, isn't it?
That's not the point. The point
This is hitting close to home, isn't it, Victor?
The point is that they seem to have this conniption that they were just these amazing rulers and that they could do whatever the fuck they wanted. And okay, so I do have a story.
I knew this was going to lead somewhere.
Yeah, well, okay, so I had study hall, and for study hall you could either sit in the cafeteria, which wasn't used during the study hall period, so that's just where they had it. So you could sit in the cafeteria, you could go to the library media center place, you could sit in there and you could read or do homework, or you could go into a computer lab and just do homework or play the stupid, like, Minesweeper games and shit. So I was in the, like, media center area, like, library space, with 2 of my friends. The rule was you could only have 2 people at a table. That was the rule. These tables can fit 6 people, but you can only have 2 people at a table, which made no sense. So already I'm just kind of irritated that that's even a rule to begin with. And then, so I'm there with 2 of my friends, so 2 of us are sitting at one table, and then my other friend is sitting just at another table. But the thing is, the way the tables are sitting, I'm actually, like, my other friend's sitting kind of behind me, but he's, like, within a foot of me, just the way the tables were. I was actually farther away from the person I was at the same table at than the person I was talking to at the table. So I'm talking to my other friend, we're just kind of like turned around, and I'm just chatting with him, we're super quiet, we're whispering. And all of a sudden you hear the psychopathic media center aide from her little desk, she doesn't even look up, she's like, remember there's no talking across tables. And we look up, and we're just like, what? And like, we just kind of like, okay, she's fucking crazy. So we just fucking keep talking, you know? So we just keep chatting, and all of a sudden we hear, remember, there's no talking across tables. What? We're just confused. So we just keep talking, and finally she actually stands up and talks to us, like looks at us and says, there's no talking across tables. You need to stop. And I literally said to her, I'm like, if I was talking to the guy who was at my table, I'd be louder. Because he's farther away from me. This is fucking physics and, like, science and, like, distance and math and rules of life. And I want to hate you so bad, and you can give me detention. Why can you give me detention? You don't even have a degree in teaching. God damn it. Like, it's one of those things where, like, you don't want to piss them off, but the second you leave, you're like, oh, I should have just called her a bitch and just walked out. God damn it.
Now, if you had the opportunity to confront this person today, like if you guys crossed paths and had conversation, what would you say to her?
I don't think I'd, like, say anything.
Intentionally sit at a different table than her and start talking to her.
Yes, that's what I should do.
That's the appropriate answer.
It's like, I mean, because what would you do? Would you just be like, hey, I've been stewing on this thing for 7 years, and
Well,
I
it
figured I'd
sounds
bring it
like
up
you
now.
have been.
Shut up.
You just walk around with folding tables.
Yes, all the
Selling
time,
up for her.
in case I see her. There was one time, there was a tornado warning, and this was my senior year, and I was 18 for my whole senior year. I don't remember what time of year it was. And there was like 2 or 3 more of us that were also 18 years old senior year. And we were in the media center area or the computer lab or something. And there was a tornado warning, so they actually had moved us all into like this back room of the media center. So we're in this back room, and we're sitting there, and we're waiting because we can't come out until like a teacher comes by and says, all right, it's safe to come out. Like, tornado warning's passed. So we're all sitting in there, and we're quiet, and we're just talking and stuff. And, I mean, we're kind of in the middle of the building, so no one's super worried or anything. So we're chatting, and all of a sudden 3 o'clock rolls around. The day's over, and we're just like, all right, so we should get to go soon, like, because it's 3 o'clock anyways. Like, so we're just kind of getting antsy and stuff. 3:30 rolls around. They still haven't let us out. No one's come by. No one's heard anything. So we're getting pissed off. So I go up to one of the teachers, and I was like, hey, like, school's out. I'm an adult. Multiple people in here are adults. Let us go. Like, you can't hold us here. Like, we are legally adults. Let us leave. And they said, no, sit down. You can't leave. I asked why. Their response is, no, sit down. You can't leave. Why can't we leave? We're adults. You can't control us like that. That makes no sense. We are out of, like, the time frame of when school is even active. Like, let us leave. And again, their same response is that same, like, written out, like, no, you cannot leave, sit back down. So,
like basically your aide was just like a robot.
I think so.
Just
I think I was
programmed to
dealing.
only give that response.
So, and I'm
No,
talking to,
you
like,
can't leave.
I think
Sit back down.
this chick was like,
Exterminate.
she was like the computer lab aide or something, and freaking, I said to her, it's like, this is fucking ridiculous. Like, why, like, at that point, I told her, tell me why. That's all I want to know at this point, is why can't we fucking leave? So I said, like, you know, why can't you tell me this? And my mistake was I did drop the F-bomb in school. Oh, like,
Whoa.
I know. I'm a horrible human being.
That's basically murder.
Yeah, so, of course, when the day that they finally come and let us out and we go home and stuff, as I'm leaving the computer lab, because we had to go back there to get, like, our bags and stuff, the teacher said this fucking snide-ass comment on the way out. I expected better of you. What? Because I said fuck. I'm sorry. Did I break some, like, unholy trinity rule?
She expected better of you, dude.
I don't understand. And I ended up getting fucking detention for that. And I was just like, maybe if your fucking aides knew how to deal with fucking students.
She expected better of you.
God, no, she didn't.
She expected better.
Oh.
Earmuffs.
Yeah.
Yes. So
I should have
let's-
looked at everyone under the age of 18 and said earmuffs. And all of them put their hands over their ears. Now can I say fuck you, bitch?
All right, kids, we're going to play earmuffs now.
Everyone that's not an adult.
You have to cover so they can't lip read.
Yeah, now, fuck you, you stupid skank.
Now, I feel like all of us who are well out of high school have talked about high school long enough. Let's talk about adulthoodness.
No, because it's lame. You gotta, like, pay bills and have real jobs and things. It's not fun.
Dan, you're married. What's that like?
Yeah, how's that whole marriage thing?
Yeah.
It's yeah.
Is it any different
There's,
than
like-
when you
Is
weren't
it,
married?
yeah, is it literally different at all from beforehand?
She's
Not-
more pregnant.
No, yeah, she's more pregnant.
Well, that's. I feel like that was going to come. No
I
matter
mean,
what.
you get a tax write-off.
Yeah, I suppose that's nice.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, we were talking about this on the way over. Just like there's really, well, on your way over here, like there was really no difference, really, because you guys were already living together and everything.
I mean, now if we were to cheat then the courts would get involved. As before being married, the courts aren't involved.
That's kind of a pain, but
That's the only downside. I mean, that's the only difference I can see.
I can't
otherwise-
just run around banging other women now.
Yeah, darn it.
Well, damn.
That just screws up your entire game, man. Come on.
My whole game is ruined. God damn.
And hey, you know, when you end up in the hospital again,
Yeah.
notice I didn't say if, I
Yeah.
said when.
Yeah.
You know, Sarah could be right there with you, you know, make decisions on your behalf.
That's always nice to
Isn't
have a person that can do that. The whole question of having someone ask, like you know, you're married now, and it's like, so how's it to be married now? You know, like, that question is very 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Because back then it was kind of standard that you wouldn't live with the other person beforehand. But now it almost seems weird to not do that. Like, I don't think I would ever want to live with someone before, like, or I would ever want to not live with someone before I marry them. Because what if you move in with them and they drive you insane?
Exactly.
Like, you'd want to fucking stab them in the eye, and then you're like, oh, wait, I'm stuck with you forever.
Yeah, kick the tires before you drive the car.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like, it just seems like a horrible but that's how it used to be all the time. So, like, it was freaking blasphemy to live with your...
Well, it's kind of like
Fiancé.
the whole no sex before marriage kind of thing too.
Yeah.
Like, what if like on your wedding night,
Yeah.
it's just not compatible.
yeah,
It
what
just
if
doesn't work.
just not.
My block does not fit in your circle. Like,
your
shit.
balls just aren't spectacular enough?
You are not wearing yoga pants.
I expected better of your balls.
That pumpkin, though.
She better be a white girl.
Yeah, I couldn't
Where's
stand
the
the
pumpkin
thought of,
spice
like,
latte?
I couldn't really stand the thought of, like, you know, having all these unanswered questions before going into marriage, because that's such a huge thing.
Yeah.
You know, that's, you know, you're playing a lot on just, you know, luck. It's like, man, I really hope this person is good in bed, because I don't know now.
Well, it's like if you don't live with the person too, like, you might get married and then, like, day one, like, you're living together now and you realize
Day one, they
Wow.
piss on the seat.
you chew really loud. We're getting a divorce
Yeah.
or something like that. Like, just fuck this noise.
What's weird is that divorce rates were even lower back then, which meant that there were plenty of people who probably came across these problems and just fucking dealt with it.
Yeah. Everyone now is like, so just like, well, if it doesn't work out, you just get a divorce. And it's like, that's not the point of marriage.
It's not.
Like,
On top of that, you
don't
don't
know.
just get a divorce. Divorce is fucking complicated.
It's
it's
expensive.
expensive and complicated, and you gotta deal with lawyers and shit. And
Especially, you know, the later that
A
you
lot of
wait
times
on
there's kids involved and
Now, Dan, did you get a prenup?
it. Did you get a prenup?
no.
Okay, so if you and Sarah get divorced, does she get half your ego?
Yeah, I have some to spare.
I got plenty. I ain't worried.
I'll be able to fit in
So,
rooms
speak-
better.
Speaking of which, can I can I get more of Dan's vocals in my headphones here?
Yeah, no, I'll crank those up quick.
I need more Dan's vocals. I mean, I know you only have
Well, now
five.
if I tell her to go in the kitchen and make me a sandwich, she can't really get mad because we're married.
Yeah, she kind of has to.
Yeah, it's like, does she
She
actually...
signed that document.
Yeah.
That it says right in there, like
In
make
sickness and in
sandwich.
health and in need of sandwiches.
Yeah. Well, you guys said that at your wedding. Though.
Yeah,
That was right in the
exactly.
vows,
No,
right?
we were there. We heard it.
Yeah, right in the vows.
We were right there in the baseball field. Just
In sickness and in health,
and sandwich.
bologna and mustard.
Just I prefer, you know, just reading your vows. Just like, Sarah, you are my best friend. I will love and cherish you forever. And I prefer turkey and Swiss on rye.
And please cut the crust.
Please cut the crust off.
Because I am 11. Thanks, babe.
Is it just me, or is, like, the thought now of, like, eating a sandwich with the crust cut off, that seems impractical.
It seems like a waste of sandwich.
Yeah.
Like, but there's
That's,
all this sandwich.
that's a waste of
They actually
bread.
like sell bread that doesn't have crust on it.
They
Yeah.
do?
Yeah.
What the fuck? That's a waste of bread.
That's a waste of a lot.
I really hope that that's the same company that makes, like, croutons or, like, stuffing mix or something. So at
Yeah.
least they're doing
It's-
something
That
with
would
the
make
bread.
sense. Yeah. They give it to ducks.
The bread pudding.
They have the largest duck harvesting farm as well.
Like,
And they just
I remember when I was
throw the crust outside.
when I was young enough to prefer sandwiches without crust on them, they had, like, those, like, refrigeratable, like, uncrustable
They
sandwiches.
still got those.
Yeah, they were basically like a dumpling, but with peanut
yeah.
butter and jelly inside,
Yeah.
and it was made of bread. And even I thought, it's like, man, that's stupid.
I've seen those at Walmart.
Those sounds.
And I was like, okay, they are at Walmart.
Yeah.
I'm not going to eat them.
I want to know how whipped are parents where they actually settle for getting their kids this.
I can't take it.
I don't think I could deal with that. I'd probably just say suck it up and eat the crust.
I
Right?
just give them a Lunchable.
There you go. Lunchables get expensive fast though.
That's true.
Those are not cheap.
And
That's
guys,
It's a lot cheaper to
Lunchables, you shouldn't give your kids Lunchables because they're not packed with love.
Oh God. What was that you were telling me? Is that you read a list?
Yeah, I was talking to my mom the other day, and our little brother is going to this new like school program thing through Malacca, and they don't have a lunch program, so my mom has to send lunches with him now. And she was trying to come up with like, ideas and like what to send them because, he's kind of a picky eater. He's special needs, all that junk. And came across a list of, things you shouldn't pack in your school lunch. And I swear to God, these are like the biggest vegan hippies imaginable because the list just went on and on and on. And they just said everything was bad. The very first thing on the list was don't pack Lunchables because Lunchables are not packed with love. And I'm just like, oh, it's gonna be one of those kinds of lists. but then they kept going.
There's not enough love in
But then they kept going. It's like, oh, you shouldn't give your kids dairy products because reasons. You shouldn't give your kids anything with gluten in them. You shouldn't give anything high in carbs, high in calories, high in yellow dye number. Who gives a fuck?
So air.
Like you couldn't do that. You couldn't give your kids soft drinks. You shouldn't send them with milk. You shouldn't send them with anything that could spoil. You shouldn't send them with this. And I remember my mom being like, I really want to get to the bottom of the list where like, all right, here's what you can put in your lunches. Except she got to the bottom of the list and the article ended. It never came. No, what was even better was this article ended with, and I'm not kidding here, it's like, also, here's a healthy tip for you. Be sure not to pack the same thing every day for your kid to keep things interesting. And I remember just like sitting up when I heard that. I'm like, what the fuck are you supposed to pack them in the first place?
It's different flavored kale chips.
Yes.
That is all you can eat.
It's a
What the fuck?
it's a Soylent bar.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not
Kale
Soylent
chips.
stuff.
Yeah.
It's Soylent and then apple juice.
No, apple juice it has to be 100%
There's
like
an article by the
green apple.
makers, and it was just their like grandmaster plan to.
Of course.
It's genius.
No, you send your kid to school with 2 pieces of stale bread and then a note from mom sandwiched between the middle of them.
It's like 2 pine cones.
Plenty
and a piece
of
bark.
fiber.
Just like note from mom is full of love.
So much. It's a very literal love sandwich.
And now your sandwich is 75% recycled.
yeah, there you
Yes.
go. and to drink, you get an empty bottle and just another note from mom, just like message in a bottle, it's just in there. Hydrations for suckers.
That's what the note says. Hydrations for suckers. See you at 3, bitch.
Fill your own damn bottle.
There's a water fountain. There's a note from mom. Make sure it's gluten-free water.
Yeah.
Don't get that gluten water. That's bad for you.
Make sure it's filtered. God help you if it's not filtered.
No, the
water.
mom just sends you to school with one of those like life pens, like the water straws or whatever that like you use in like Africa to like drink water out of nasty rivers that like filters it. Like the mom sends you with that to just use in the school fountains.
Just that, and just wish you the best of luck.
Yeah. And
The,
just
the
Soylent
mom,
Green.
the
and
mom
that's it.
sends you to school with a pack of Soylent Green and an EpiPen. So when you eventually just pass out, it just insulins you back to life.
Mom, why is there an adrenaline shot in my lunchbox? You might need it, honey.
Yeah, because everything else is unhealthy.
Remember, right in the heart.
With love.
Remember our training.
It's a Lunchables EpiPen.
Yes. I'll
Packed
love-
with love.
Lunchables come with EpiPens now, don't they?
Of course.
You know, you get your Capri Sun, you get your Cheez-Its, you get your EpiPen,
You have
get
to stab your Capri Sun with the EpiPen.
Yes.
and then you get your pizza disc.
Yeah,
That's
You're not quite a cracker, not quite a pizza crust.
that thing. Whatever it could have been.
That inspired that Britney Spears song.
Yes. Not
Not a girl, not yet a woman.
No, this is old Britney Spears we're talking. Old.
Back when she had like, what, brunette hair? I don't know.
Yeah. Back
Who cares?
Back when she was like young. and
Relevant.
Relevant. That's the word I was looking for.
I think of old Britney Spears, and I think about, like, all those fucking old bands, like, and where the fuck did they end up now? Like, NSYNC and Backstreet Boys and
Wasn't
stuff.
she was on, what, American Idol or something like that?
Yeah.
She was a
She was
judge
a
on
judge.
there.
And she looked so out of it every single time, like, just, like, hopped up on drugs and spaced out. And she was just, like, squinty eyed and smile at the camera and say something.
What sucks
she
is
thought
she's trying really hard to
Yeah.
hang on to like what's left
Yeah.
of her career and her image and everything.
And she would act like everything she said was profound.
Does she need money? Like, is that what it is? Like,
Probably.
I know she's got, like,
Have
3
you listened
kids.
to any songs on her most recent album? Like
she has a recent album?
exactly.
Oh, okay. I didn't know.
I feel like more pop stars from that era have done a better job of letting go than other people. I mean, NSYNC, Justin Timberlake, I think is doing okay.
Yeah.
I think he'll be all right. And
Backstreet
even-
Boys is on tour now.
Yeah.
They just did a new album.
Aren't they on tour with like 98 Degrees or something? Like it's like the old washed
the
up boy
nostalgia
band
tour.
tour. The nostalgia tour.
Yeah,
Exactly.
because everyone wants the '90s to come back. So
It's like New Kids on the Block, Backstreet Boys, and 98 Degrees.
am I the only one who is really sick of just things that are '90s coming back?
That's because it's come full circle for you because you work at Hot Topic. So you get exposed to it all the time. So
Well, now
now it's no longer nostalgic. Now it's just annoying.
Yeah, well, even like TV shows, because they did redo The Girl Meets World, which
Yeah.
I have not seen. Is it any good?
I've watched like the first like 6 episodes of it, and it's actually really good. Like to be fair,
It's a lot of
not-
fan service, though, isn't it?
It is. There's a lot of fan service.
It would have to, I suppose.
Like, there's a lot of stuff they'd like throw in there that only like diehard Boy Meets World fans would catch.
Gotcha.
Like in the very first episode, there are like whole lines of dialogue that are ripped out of like old episodes. And I thought, that's pretty cute, and the writing is very similar to that. That being said, it still looks like a Disney Channel sitcom. It's still
Is
you know.
Feeney still in it?
Not yet. He's going to. I heard he was going to.
he made a spoilers here. He made a very, very brief cameo at the end of the first episode, and that was just Corey like imagining him there.
Oh,
So they haven't really shed light on, because they haven't really said, it's like, is Feeney like dead? Is he gonna be in it at all?
I heard he's in it, like one of the next ones. I thought. I don't know.
Maybe,
I
because
could be wrong.
because there's a one point where it's like Corey watches his daughter go off on a subway, and he turns around and there's Feeney like on his shoulder, just like, well done, Mr. Matthews, and then he looks back and he's gone, and everyone's like, tears.
Oh my god.
So that was done right, except everyone else seems to be getting on the train. Like, have you heard Full House is
Yeah.
apparently getting a reboot?
yeah.
Like, I saw that and I got legitimately upset. Because I'm like, you had nothing good to start with.
Now, is it a reboot or is it like a continuation? Like
No, they're
Girl
gonna like
Meets World?
recast.
Okay.
Are they gonna recast?
That's
Because
what I heard.
I heard continuation.
No, I
actually.
heard that they're gonna
Like,
recast.
I heard John Stamos and like Dave Coulier were gonna be in it.
Well, I heard that they wanted it to be remade, but I don't know for sure if they're gonna be in it. But yeah, I'm not, and because the reports on it were kind of conflicting.
Yeah, there's.
I don't know if Bob Saget would do it unless he got to cuss.
Yeah,
Like, I feel like he'd have like a moral issue with it now.
I'm sure he's making bank off all the work he did with How I Met Your Mother. So.
He could probably live off the royalties from How I Met Your Mother till he dies. Just for being
Which,
freaking
let's be
voice
real,
actor.
will probably be next year.
Well, yeah.
He's gonna be so coked out, he's just gonna pass out, and his last words are gonna be cunt sniffer. And then,
What did he have to do with all
but yeah, what else? Powerpuff Girls is gonna get rebooted next year.
Yeah, I heard that one.
I read that story, which I saw like the concept art for it, and it looks terrible. Like they quote unquote modernized the art for it. and
Seriously?
it
Look
looks
this up.
just. It looks dumb.
Well, and then they're doing they're doing a Power Rangers movie
Yeah.
in 2016 now.
Which I am somewhat looking forward to that.
I don't know. I'm a little scared because they're doing like the Mighty Morphin like first season or whatever.
But they actually have like a real movie studio behind it, and they have a real budget.
I think they got like
real-
Lionsgate
Yeah.
and stuff and like actual producers and stuff. Oh, is this the fucking rebooted Powerpuff Girls?
this is?
It looks horrible. That's what I'm looking at.
Yeah, it's.
That's upsetting.
It looks pretty terrible.
They got new hip haircuts for the new age of stupid burb jerb. I don't know.
they'd finally released the date for the Deadpool movie though.
Yeah, wasn't it like February?
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
2016.
February like 12th, 2016.
Yeah.
I'm so there.
They moved back the Fantastic Four movie because of it. So
Good.
yeah,
That's okay.
Good.
yeah. So that's getting released later.
That was a smart move on Fox's part.
But the bad thing is now Assassin's Creed, that movie adaptation doesn't have a release date now. 'Cause
They're-
originally it was gonna be what
The Deadpool one was, or
Fantastic Four's new release date. That was gonna be the Assassin's Creed.
They can't
So
have
now
the same one, or is it the same company?
It's same company.
Okay.
So
Okay.
so that
So they kind of just like sandwiched in
They're just
the
bumping
Deadpool movie
everybody.
Yeah.
and then bumped everything else back.
kind of yeah. So it's in limbo because the Fantastic Four movie's already done filming. They have everything done for that. But Assassin's Creed was supposed to start filming, and Michael Fassbender was gonna be the lead.
Really?
Yeah.
Desmond or whatever.
That'd be kind of
Yeah.
cool. Ezio, maybe. I don't know.
I think
what.
it's Ezio.
Is
Yeah.
it?
Well, isn't Assassin's Creed also like take place in like present day with like memories and shit?
Well, oh yeah, Desmond Miles.
Yeah, that guy.
does that,
That's
yeah.
what I mean. It's like, is that who he's
I
playing?
think he's playing Ezio. I
Okay.
think, which is kind of weird because Ezio is like Italian. Michael Fassbender's obviously not. I mean, he's Magneto.
Well, that didn't stop. That didn't stop
you're
Channing Tatum
Magneto.
from being in the Book of Life. So
That's true. He's gonna be Gambit though.
Ooh.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
I think
he's
that's
confirmed for Gambit.
I think that's fine. No, like the Deadpool movie, because the production company that leaked, which yeah, it's fucking not a leak. It's that this was.
it
all,
was to
it's,
drop interest.
It's fucking marketing. That's all it
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
brilliant marketing.
They
but marketing
they
nonetheless.
leaked out that just like little like CGI done like rendered like little clip from just to show like this is kind of the style of stuff we'd want to do, and then they leaked out an image of it was just a picture of Ryan Reynolds doing mocap for that. He was like sitting on like a box. And it was like a shot from like the beginning when he's singing like the Gwen
Sitting-
Stefani song.
yeah, and he's sitting
and
on
he's
the
sitting on
bridge.
top of the
That's
yeah.
my shit.
It's
That's my shit.
like, and then they announced the date. It's just like, oh god, it's happening.
But yeah, they're honestly, I think they're being super. They're being super smart about all of this.
I wonder if he's gonna make a cameo in the next X-Men: The Apocalypse.
Maybe.
Is that one
Because-
gonna come out before?
I don't recall.
Because I thought that was more like early 2017 or late 2016.
It might be.
I also wonder,
So
is it gonna
maybe-
be like, is the Deadpool movie gonna be in canon with X-Men, like the Wolverine, that movie?
It's
Well, it's
all
the same
like when he
company.
first
It's
showed
Fox.
up.
It's all like under the same, because it's all done with like Fox and stuff.
Because Deadpool was actually
So
a
I could
pretty
see them doing
like
that.
prevalent character in that movie, and they had him like dying or not dying.
Well, he was
at the
like
end of
Weapon
it.
X or whatever.
Yeah, that was
It
Weapon
wasn't-
X Deadpool.
Yeah, that
Well,
was.
did you see the extra scene at the end though?
Yeah, the extra scene is like he wakes up or whatever,
And he grabs his own head and starts to put it back on his body.
Yeah.
Like, so it's like he's not dead. It's Deadpool.
No. Yeah.
Well, the whole thing about that movie is they made it so he had no mouth,
Yeah.
which was like the dumbest thing they could have possibly done because Deadpool is known for his sarcastic,
Yeah.
kind of
That's what I'm wondering. Like, is he just gonna like quick take a knife, just boom? Now I can talk again.
Well, that was the thing though. If you looked at that last scene, you could see that the skin that was over his mouth was
Yeah,
ripped off
yeah.
completely. Like you could see his mouth. So it's one of those things where like, I mean, I don't really know the exact origins of Deadpool, and I don't think a lot of people do. So for all you know, before he actually donned the Deadpool costume and started being a psychotic anti-hero, like maybe he was like controlled by Stryker for a while and stuff. Like I don't really know how that works. Like
I think kind of the point of Deadpool is like his origin. His origin story is, whatever he wants it to be.
I think Deadpool rewrites it himself every few weeks.
Well, have you seen that video from that Spider-Man cartoon where he fights Deadpool?
yeah.
That in that whole episode, Deadpool explains to Spider-Man his origin story like 2 or 3 times. It's kind of like the Joker from The Dark Knight.
Oh,
How he does the whole scar story, but it's different each time. It's kind of like that. He's just trying to mess with you.
The thing is, Deadpool might not be trying to mess with you. Deadpool might actually just not know. Like, he might just change it.
Well, one of Deadpool's like major qualities is that he can break the fourth wall and do whatever he wants. So he might actually be rewriting his origin story every
Yeah.
time. He was born out of a pile of pancakes. Why not?
Probably. Pancakes that he made.
chimichangas.
His mom was a chimichanga and his dad was a
Chimichanga.
rat. And that's where the name Deadpool comes from.
I haven't, honestly, lately, like, superhero stuff hasn't been very compelling storytelling-wise for me. Like, it's all rehashing old comics and things like that, but nothing's been really striking. The Injustice story was amazing. I thought that was really good.
Yeah, Injustice.
Like, the
that
whole
was
concept of the
that is like one of the
reality
best
stuff.
stories I've seen in a video game in
Yeah.
quite some time.
I don't know, and the thing is, that was a custom story because they
Yeah.
launched a comic series off of the game, not
Yeah.
the other way around. So, I thought that was
That's
really
really impressive. Especially considering this is from the guys who made Mortal Kombat, and they're not really known for their storytelling.
Well, they had the
abilities.
Flashpoint part of it though, in the video game.
Did they?
Or no, yeah,
Because I watched.
Or am I thinking of Mortal Kombat versus DC Universe?
Maybe you're thinking of
That might be it.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
you're thinking of that one.
Because I saw the Flashpoint Paradox, which was
That was an animated movie, right?
that was an animated movie with it was all just about how if the Flash never got his powers, and so he's trying to like figure out like what's going on. And apparently, if he never got his powers, the whole world is just screwed.
Of course.
Like because that's how that works.
yeah,
you know?
yeah, totally.
And he actually apparently, if he doesn't get his powers, not only does that just completely mess up his own timeline, it messes everyone else's. Like he finds Batman, but it's not Bruce Wayne. It's what's fucking Bruce's dad's name? I don't remember.
Mr. Wayne.
Mr. Wayne. It's Mr. Wayne.
I don't even know. That's
Yeah.
How is it you and I both don't
Yeah.
know
What,
this?
the
We're like,
difference in the
I know his
storylines.
mom was like Martha or something like that.
Thomas.
Thomas Wayne. Yes.
Yes.
Thomas Wayne.
fuck. Thank you, internet.
So Batman is actually Thomas Wayne, and the person who got shot outside of the theater that night was actually Bruce.
oh,
And it turns out his mom went insane because she watched her son get shot. So
Yeah.
she just went insane and turned into the Joker. So now Bruce's mom is the
Whoa.
Joker. Her husband Thomas is now Batman. So the Flash finds Batman, and it's
so
not
who's the
Bruce.
Joker then?
The Joker's just not. He doesn't exist.
Okay.
He just never needed to fill that role, so he never became the Joker.
All right.
So,
Totally.
and another thing was that Superman was in a completely different wheelhouse too, because the Kents never found him. Lionel Luthor did.
Oh.
So the thing is, what they did is they stuck him in a cell and they just studied him and stuff. And what they figured out immediately was that he got his power from the sunlight. So when he was a baby, they cut him off from all sunlight. So when the Flash found him, he was this skinny, withered, just nothing of a man. Like, and his name was Kal-El. That's all he knew. Like, and just nothing. He was completely just ragged and destroyed. And he finally takes him out into the sun, and he just like it's like some freaking like ghostly like guy.
Well, I imagine that would like being exposed to the sun for the first time in forever. Like that would just spook
Well, he didn't
the
have any of his
fuck out of
powers.
him.
So imagine if you ever watch Smallville, you see like Clark go through like this slow progression of getting all his powers. So this one guy who is just this weak nothing gets all of it at once, just thrown at him. So he's learning everything all on the fly, and he's completely antisocial because he's never talked to anyone.
Right.
Like he's never spoken to anyone because he's been in this containment chamber like forever. And it's all over the place. Like Cyborg works for Lex Luthor or something. Like Wonder Woman's not even there. Like it's all over the place. Like it's just insane. Just watching that, it's just like, what? You really had that much of an impact? Like that's crazy.
The Flash did.
Yeah. So I think because the Flash originally got his powers by what was it? He was struck by lightning.
Yeah.
I think.
Well, they had their molecular, whatever the heck, doohickey.
Yeah.
Exploded.
Yeah.
And while that exploded, it sent out a shockwave, and he got hit by lightning, and got
It was like double electrocution.
well, he got the lightning threw him into a bunch of chemicals,
Yes, that's right.
and that's how he got his powers.
So what he had to do now was he's like, well, crap. The only way I can fix this is I have to find, God, what's the guy's name? The Yellow Flash, like the bad guy.
Reverse Flash.
Yeah, Reverse Flash.
Reverse Flash. He had to find Reverse Flash and like undo this, but he knew he couldn't do it as just Barry Allen. Like he needed to beat Flash, so that's why he went to Batman because he's like, Bruce Wayne's a fucking genius. He can help me.
Bruce Wayne's dead.
He finds Thomas Wayne, also happens to be a genius.
Close
so
enough.
He's just like, I know how to do this, and so they actually get like the same setup, and it's during a lightning storm, and he gets struck by lightning, and nothing fucking happens, and he turns into this burnt, just crispy, just, and like he's fucking just dying, sitting in this chair, and he's telling like Thomas just like, do it again. No, like try to get another lightning bolt. I'll take it. And it's like, you're gonna fucking die. Like you should be dead now. The fact that you're not's amazing. And he's like, he looks like he's got 3rd-degree burns all over his body. He gets struck one more time and it kicks on, and he heals within 20 minutes because the Flash can super heal too. Like,
Yeah.
and it's like, yay, Flash powers back, and like, I think he made his suit like within 5 seconds because he's like, I need a suit now. Just makes
And
the Flash.
he's
suit.
the Flash, and that's kind of his
Yeah,
thing.
and then he goes after Reverse Flash, and the thing is, this entire time he's torn because the whole reason that he went into this alternate universe was because he wanted to be in a universe where his mom didn't get killed by Reverse Flash. So he ended up having that's the whole change. So he didn't even want to leave until he realized everything was fucked because that's where his mom was. So, it's
So,
just
so this
like,
whole thing is basically like a much darker superhero version of It's a Wonderful Life.
kind of, yeah,
With the Flash.
with the Flash.
It's like, man, I wish I had
With
never been.
sarcasm.
I wish I had never been the Flash. Turns out everything's fucked the second you're not the Flash.
yeah, it just ends up being Thomas Wayne basically sacrificing himself to fight off like all these bad guys and stuff. Cyborg is helping Flash now, and like
Wonder Woman was in it.
and
'Cause
then-
it was Wonder Woman versus Aquaman.
oh right, because Aquaman
Because-
was evil as balls.
Of course he was.
Yes,
No, didn't Wonder Woman kill? Yeah, Wonder Woman killed his wife.
they're all evil pretty much. They all ended up being really.
Of
yeah.
course they are.
Wonder Woman got
They were
jealous,
lovers.
and yeah, Wonder Woman had an affair with Aquaman.
Of course he did.
So Wonder Woman killed Aquaman's wife, and
She tried to kill him.
So you basically had the Amazonians versus the
Atlanteans.
versus the Atlanteans.
Jesus.
This big fucking war going on all at once, and then finally they get little piss ass Clark Kent, who's withered, to come out, and he shows up and saves the fucking day as little skinny Superman.
Little
Save the
skinny
day by
Superman.
killing
Like,
everyone.
the thing is that yeah, he's so broken and corrupted and just nothing, like he's almost a zombie, kills fucking everybody, just goes insane. So the Flash
Yeah,
is like,
no,
I gotta fix this now.
It's like, whoops.
Super speed.
This is
Find
more.
reverse Flash, save the day.
This is more than I bargained for.
The world is fucked.
Oh,
That's a
man.
crazy movie though, because everything's so different. Like that's the same thing with DC. DC
DC really
Injustice.
likes to just fuck up.
Injustice.
Yeah, they really like to
'Cause-
just fuck up everything.
because that whole thing with freaking Superman killing his own, yeah, spoiler alert, he kills his own wife and unborn child, and it's just like, oh, wow, that got dark real
Yeah,
quick.
doesn't he also like kill Shazam as well? And he's just like a kid. And...
Yeah, he ends up killing Shazam because Shazam finally questions things, because Shazam never does, because Shazam's like, he's a kid, so he's always been blindly following Superman, because he's like, Superman's my hero, it's Superman, you know? All of a sudden, Shazam starts questioning things, Superman grabs him by the face and uses his fucking heat vision through his eyeballs, and fucking murders him in cold blood.
DC has a thing with just murdering everybody.
Yeah.
Is-
But
that's
not
what I've
in the
noticed.
regular world, in alternate worlds. Because they
Okay.
would never do that to the regular superheroes.
Of course not.
They wouldn't. Did you hear The Rock got cast in, finally?
Yeah, to be Black
Black
Adam.
Adam.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So now it's like, well, shit, who's gonna be Shazam now?
Brocklesnar.
Brocklesnar.
Brocklesnar! I'm calling it.
Who's gonna be Kid Brocklesnar, though? Brocklesnar?
I'm gonna
Jay
wait.
Garrett.
I'm gonna say Michael Cera.
Michael Cera.
Same kind of line.
Yes.
That's what I was thinking.
Michael Cera, take a drink every time he stammers awkwardly. We have officially come full circle.
Good podcast.
Good podcast.
We hit everything. We hit horrible teachers and superheroes and Brocklesnar.
Right. Well, Brocklesnar hit Dan.
Yes.
We didn't hit Brocklesnar.
Brocklesnar hit Dan.
He just stood there like Hulk and said puny mortal, and I just fell on the ground.
Did he actually
Puny
like?
mortal.
So going back to that story, make sure I got this right. You tried to like take him down or whatever, and he
Yes.
just stood there like just a
Yes.
wall.
Yes.
Like he
they
did.
said go. So I like went full blast, like I'm gonna grab his leg and take him down, and I'm just sitting here going, trying to lift his leg. And finally, I just
And he
said,
just
I'm
stood
gonna
there
get
just-
a hernia. I am done.
Yeah.
And then you did.
And now...
And then I said Shazam, and
Yeah, and then
And then I kicked the shit out of him is what I did.
obviously.
Is that what happened?
Yes.
That's what happened.
And then you like picked him up and gave him the F5. Dan, we talked about this.
And that's
Come on,
how he...
that was a test.
I
and
Stone
you
Cold
failed.
stun him,
Yes.
Right.
and then drink some beer.
That's a test, and you failed.
Fucking high school wrestling match. Just fucking chugging some Coors.
I want to see
I'm
like
just flipping people off.
I want to see the high school wrestling match where the guy comes out just flipping everybody off, takes down the guy. He's like, "Someone throw me a beer! Someone throw me a beer!"
Grabs a steel chair and just beats the shit out of
Well,
him.
in high school,
Like, you
most
go-
of my matches lasted like 10 seconds because as soon as they said go, I would just run, do a flip move, land on him, knock the wind out of him, and pin him.
Oh yeah.
And my coach would yell at me saying I wasn't actually wrestling.
So
You're just
it
hurting
works.
people. Yeah, whatever.
So the one time I actually like tried to wrestle someone, I ended up with a bloody nose and a concussion. So
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I'm
the,
done.
The first method works.
so
I like the way I was
literally
doing it
quit
before.
the team the next day
Oh my gosh.
because mostly because of basketball, but
Well,
yeah, and I didn't like getting my oil checked.
Yeah, that's a lot of.
And the fear of ringworm was like always present.
Of course.
That's a real fear.
That's real shit.
in the world of amateur wrestling.
Ringworm runs rampant.
It runs rampant across the Midwest.
It is, and it's gross. And cauliflower ear.
I had ringworm once, and I don't even know how I got it. I had it from it was because I had this watch that I'd always wear, and then I took the watch off one day, and I had a circle. It was all ringworm on my wrist, and I was like, "Where the fuck did this come from?" Because aren't you supposed to get ringworm from someone who has ringworm?
You can get it from multiple sources.
So
Who were you fisting
I guess I was horrible.
That's why you take your
and
watch
I didn't
off
take my watch off.
before you go in?
Which is my bad, I mean, I used plenty of lube, but it just wasn't enough. And it was spermathidyl lube. God, that wasn't fun. On that note, I think we'll call it there.
I think at that point we've officially covered everything.
Yeah, we've literally covered
What haven't we discussed?
Okay, well, thank you, Dan, for chatting with
Paul
us.
Campus empty, right?
And thank you, Varric, for filling in for Paul
I'm
on
Paul.
on his hair day.
I love Linux.
Yeah. We didn't talk about Linux.
Shit.
Unix-based Linux servers are the best.
They really are.
Okay,
Good night.
good night.